The first thing I do is I do skin prep before I do any makeup. This is the Kinfield spray right here. This is like an aloe-based little spray. It's not my favorite spray, but it's just what I have right now. So then now I'm gonna go in with the Wonder Valley face oil right here. I don't like the applicator, this little thing right here. You kind of have to like dump it onto the hand. I'll prep my skin with a little face oil and then I'll use the Jones Road Miracle Balm. The consistency of the balm kind of changes when you use an oil first. So I like that it kind of blends into the skin more easily when the skin is prepped. So this is the shade Bronze right here. And this is what the balm looks like. What I'll do is I'll just take my thumb, run it over, and then I do just a thumb across. I like to call this the Simba technique. When Rafiki does a thumb across Simba's forehead, I kind of feel like Simba. So I call it my Simba technique. This just offers a little tint to the skin. I like to use it before my foundation. So now that the skin is prepped, then I'll go in with my eyes. Right now I'm using Soft Ochre. This is the MAC Pro Longwear. This helps the eyeshadow stay better on the eye. I have yet to find a clean alternative to an eye primer. Usually eye primers will crease throughout the day. And then I just kind of tap it onto the eye with my fingers. Usually after I use the eye primer, I like to go in quickly with a powder to kind of set that primer in place. This is the Ethereal Eyes palette. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's a good base color. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush like this. This is from Eco Tools. I just kind of tap out the primer and then immediately go in with that cream color on the lid. Been kind of into pinks lately for spring and summer. So I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, and I'm gonna use a smaller brush like this to pack on that pink color. This also isn't my final step. It doesn't have to be perfect with the blending. So now that I have this mauve pink tone on the lid, I'm gonna use a brown liner. I'm just gonna do it on the outer corner of the eye. I also like to do a little wing, and usually I'll just kind of flick out the corner a little bit, and then I'll use the side of my finger to kind of drag it out. And I'm not putting any pressure on it. It might look like there's pressure, but I just do the gentlest little flick. I'm not lining this up perfectly because I'm gonna go over it with a powder. And the nice part about this makeup look is that you're going over things, so you don't have to perfect it the first time. Now I'm gonna use this angled brush, and I'm gonna go in with the darkest maroon purple right here. This also helps to set that brown liner in place and make it last longer throughout the day. Now I'm gonna use a little lash curler. And then I'm gonna take two different mascaras. So these are the two I've been using. This is the Damn Girl by Too Faced, and then the Marc Jacobs Black Mascara. This one right here is chunky. This is a huge mascara. I feel like they're probably gonna end up discontinuing this. This is the wand. It's a pretty large wand. I like to go in with this first because this can actually kind of create some clumpiness, so then I'll use the other mascara to separate it. So for one of the final steps of the eyes, I'm gonna use this Just a Sec eyeshadow from Jones Road. This is one of their new colors in the shade Baby Pink, and I'm gonna go over my eyeshadow with the Just a Sec over top. So I'm gonna use this little dense brush right here. And I'm gonna pack the color on that dense brush. So what this color does is it brings some dimension to the eye. And I kind of like that we already had a pinky tone underneath. It helps bring out the pink of this color. So now that the eyes are done, I'm gonna go in with face products. And I've not really been using foundation much anymore, but I am using this Charlotte Tilbury, just the Wonder. I don't even remember what this is called. It creates a really pretty glow. I actually like to use it under this eye specifically because it helps with brightening up the under eye because it has reflex in it. The light can help to reflect the darkness under the eyes. Some people like to use this as their foundation, but I think it would be a little too shiny as foundation. But I have these prominent lines, so I like to use a color corrector first to kind of help fill that in. This is Bobbi Brown's original brand. I'm gonna use the extra light and then the dark together because I do not have one in between. So this is the dark one. I'm gonna use this first. And I just like to use my finger to warm it up. This is the light shade. You wouldn't want to wear these by themselves because of that salmon tone. You can still see it through. You can use concealer to put over top of it. I'm gonna mix. This is the Kosas concealer. This is definitely a favorite concealer. This is the shade 4.5 Neutral. And then I'm gonna use a Tarte Shape Tape, but only a small little bit. And I don't even bother trying to clean them anymore because it'll just get messy again. So this is 22 Neutral. This right here is honestly super full coverage, so I only like to use just a little bit. And this is actually pretty much empty. I don't have a concealer that matches me perfectly right now, so I'm just kind of mixing a few. I also love the hydration that the Kosas one offers, but sometimes this does not offer enough coverage. I'm gonna go in with a big kabuki style brush. And then I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier Translucent Brightening Under Eye Powder. And I'm gonna pack the little velvet puff and then just kind of press it in. Sometimes I'll also use the back of my hand if there's like excess powder there. Then I really like to angle myself down as I'm doing it because then you can really see that line. I'm using this Kosas in the shade Medium Bronzer. This is the powder bronzer, and then I'm gonna use this really fluffy brush from Morphe. And I just kind of dip it in and then like pat and tap it in. Sometimes I'll use a little eye fluffy brush. I'll take the same bronzer and I'll bring it down the sides of my nose. I have a little dent on this side of my nose. I think it was from a jet ski incident in middle school, honestly. So I kind of try to recreate it on the other side so that it's more symmetrical looking, but it's pretty hard to do. So usually I'll put some fake freckles over here and I find that it helps to even it out a little bit. I'm a little all over the place because now I'm gonna go in with my brows. I'm gonna use these two Kosas products. This is in the shade Taupe or Light Taupe, and then this is just the clear brow gel. It's kind of not clear anymore. Using this spoolie will also help it diffuse into the brow more. Then I'm going in with the clear brow gel. For blush, I'm gonna use the Jones Road Lip and Cheek Stick. This is one of my favorite products that Jones Road carries. I like to compare this shade to the Dior pink that everyone is obsessed with. This is what the shade looks like. It's a really pretty pink. And I'm just gonna stipple it on the brush and then apply it. I find this to be a really easy way to apply the blush. gives a really natural looking blush. To highlight the skin, I'm gonna use the Cool Rose Shimmer Oil with Jones Road as well. A pump right on the finger, press it onto the skin. Finally, for lips, I'm using this old school RMS lip liner in the shade Nighttime Nude. They no longer sell it. And then I go over it with the Kosas lip gloss in Jellyfish. I'm gonna go back in with the brown liner that I used earlier, and I'm gonna emphasize my little mark here and then also some freckles on the nose. I'm gonna set the face with a little setting spray. This is from Urban Decay. I just put it in a different container. It's more aesthetically pleasing. And then that is the finished makeup look. This is what I do pretty much every day. It honestly is pretty easy. It can take me maybe 10 to 15 minutes to do it. And I just like it for spring and summer because it has more of those blush, brighter pinks to it. And if you have any clean alternatives to an eye primer or a setting spray that you love, feel free to link it below because I'd be very interested in that. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.